Welcome, you guys. This is the Power Builders Training, Money Making Monday. We're talking money, we're talking wealth, but more importantly, we're talking mindset. This is the most important thing we got to get right before anything else will ever adjust. We got to adjust the way we think, right? And I'm so excited I get an opportunity to bring to the stage not only a person that's sought after a public speaker throughout the country. He gets paid to speak to thousands of people all across the country. But he's also an executive director within our MWR organization. He's helping a lot of people create success, love having fun, and position to make a lot of money in what we do. So please grab a pen and a pad. You don't want to miss any of this information. I need you to be on camera if possible, because we much rather talk to your face than talk to your picture. But I do understand how it is, because I know we are at home, we are comfortable. I had to lay my edges down right before the call too. So everything worked out and looked good, But this particular gentleman already wakes up like this all day, energy high, power high. He controls the room when he steps in. And I get a privileged opportunity to call him my brother because he is my brother. Let's give it up for Executive Director Richard Harden. Welcome to the call, sir.
Man, thank you.
Yes. Hello. Yes.
Man, thank you so much, Chuck Hart. Now, for real, where are y'all cameras for real? I see a whole bunch of names, not all the eyes. But before I get started with this training, because this is possibly one of the most important trainings I'll conduct, I will teach this for the rest of my life now that I know. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
For some of you that are in our intimate circle, part of our mastermind groups, I've been really studying our financial education system and why the Make Wealth Real opportunity puts us in the perfect position to change the financial education system in America. Because Chuck told you a lot about great things about me as a speaker, but if you think about somebody that is charismatic, energetic, and gets the party started, there's nobody like that man right here. So before I jump in, let me say, y'all give it up one more time for bringing us together on a Monday, the day that most people's dreams go to die because they got to get up and go to work, to talk about making money in a different way, designed to create wealth and to make wealth real by keeping it simple. All right. So that's my context for today. Today is called Keep It Simple, SIMPLE. SIMPLE. If you write that from the top of your page down, I'm going to walk through the philosophy of why the Make Wealth Real membership is so powerful. Now, here's the blessing. Whether you decide to partner with us and make wealth real together with us, or you just learn enough to do better, this was worth your time. Does that make sense? Now, the S in simple stands for shift. That's what shifting your money back to you. The I stands for increase. That's increasing your money. M stands for multiply. That's having your money make more money. And the P stands for protect. Protect the income that you shifted, increased, and multiplied. And then the last thing, most important and powerful thing, is leverage when it comes to everything. So leverage everything is the L and the E in simple. And as I jump in, I'm reminded of why it was so difficult for me to initially understand what we had our hands on. Because I'm one of those kids that did everything they said to do. They said, go to school, get good grades, go to college, get a degree, get a good job with benefits. Anybody told that story? And in being told that story, I went out. I did all the things they said to do. I did all my homework. William, I graduated, top of my class, nerd, geek, bookworm, went over to Duke, that double major in electrical engineering and computer science. And I got out into the real world. Somebody say real world.
Real world.
And realized all that education, I had not been taught anything about what I wanted because I wanted to be wealthy. Is there anybody that's on this line on this Monday because they wanted to be wealthy? Well, it turns out financial education is not taught in school. We're taught reading, writing, and arithmetic. We're taught enough math to be able to spend money, but not enough to be able to have money, make money. Yes or yes? So I went back to the basics, Chuck. You know, the first thing we teach is the ABCs, right? Now, we did a whole web series about a year ago, and probably have to bring it back. It's the ABCs of money. But today I'm gonna just talk some financial fundamentals, and I'm gonna tie those into how this works with our Make Wealth Real membership and why it's so powerful. So if you think about it, my inspiration from this, I'm reading Robert Kiyosaki. This is like his 12th book. It's called Second Chance. But in there, he talks about the visionary that inspired him. It's a man by the name of Buckminster Fuller. Anybody heard of Buckminster Fuller? Anybody
Yes.
ever been to Epcot Center in Florida?
Geodesic dome.
Yep.
Geodesic Dome is his. He has multiple PhDs, multiple patents and inventions, but he said, I've spent most of my life unlearning things that were proved not to be true. I've spent most of my life unlearning things that have been proved not to be true. And what I found for myself is the formula it gave us has already been disproved case study after case study, yes?
Yep.
But there's also that subliminal human science of the monkey trap. We were talking about this particular device. Anybody know how they keep that monkey trap?
Yeah.
They put something shiny in the bottom of that coconut, and the monkey holds on to it and becomes docile because he can't let go of the little bit of shine that he has. Does that make sense? So for today's training, I just encourage you, let's let some of that go. Like if it's proved to you and the people around you that it didn't work for you and them and everybody they knew, let it go. Here's the first thing to understand when it comes to money. Buckminster Fuller, Robert Kiyosaki talk about what they call the great universal cash heist, grunge. What is it? It's this right here. It's that for the average American, when we get paid, it's already 4 financial roadblocks between us and our money, yes or yes.
Yes.
Meaning our biggest expense is taxes, bar none. Matter of fact, the first third of our income, if we work a job, goes to taxes. And then once the taxes are paid, every dollar that we have, they call those after-tax dollars, right, Real? Have you ever noticed that everything you can do with an after-tax dollar gets taxed? Like if you go buy something, you get a sales tax. If you buy something that's worth something, you get a car, you get ad valorem tax. If you have property, you get property tax. And then even when you die, do you know that your heirs get an estate tax? So you get taxed all your living days, and even in absence, when you're gone, any money you had, the government says, I'm gonna get some of that. Does that make sense? Now, here's what happens. Because we get hit so hard with taxes, that causes the average person and average family to go into debt. Yes?
Yes.
Next 33% of our income, next 1/3 goes to debt. So 2/3 of the money's already gone. And then big business hits us twice with inflation and just the cost of doing business. Meaning every month of the year, there's a reason to spend money. Yes? Like what month is it right now? It's February.
February.
We just had Valentine's Day. Next month is going to be spring break. And then after that, you're going to have Easter. And then after that, in May, you're going to have Mother's Day. In June, you're going to have Father's Day. In July, you're going to have the 4th of July. In August, you go back to school. In September, there's Labor Day. October, there's Halloween. November, there's Thanksgiving. December, there's Christmas. You come right back around to the beginning of the year with a resolution to get in shape and get out of debt. But yet, somebody's triggering us every month towards the end of a pay period to spend money. Yes?
Yes.
And the most insidious, we call it the silent killer, is inflation. Because here's something they used to say. They say money doesn't grow on trees. Yes, it do. I said it wrong on purpose, Chuck. Yes, it do. It's paper. Like the US dollar got taken off the gold standard in 1973. It's paper. And every time the government needs more money, they print more money. What does that do for us? It makes the value of our dollars go down so that the money's going out fast, but the gas is going in slow. Does that make sense? Now, here's the good thing about the MWR membership. Specifically for each of those things, I'm going to flip over to my website so that you can see in real time how our system works to give us a set of resources to combat those things. Does that make sense? Hang on. Let me make sure I'm looking at the right site. Give me a second. Oh, there it is. Bam. All right. So in your MWR portal, you have a lifestyle portal. Specifically, what is it designed to do? It's designed to enhance your lifestyle by going to work against the big four, meaning by helping to eliminate debt and reduce taxes, right? You got a set of experts that for every one of the pillars, they have multiple ways to help shift your income back to you. That's the shift. Am I making sense to you? So for example, most people experience what Chuck and Angela talked about, the instant pay raise, and it's as simple as answering some questions, uploading some documents. We got a team of enrolled agents in the IRS. Put that in your notes. Highest degree of certification in tax preparation that review your W-4 so that you get your money on the front end instead of waiting for a tax refund on the back end. Because put this down, a refund is a loan to the government. Re is again, and fund is your money. Does that make sense? But also, Javon talked about our debt elimination strategy. Here's what happens by having more of your money paid back to you. They actually go through everything that you owe and show you a millionaire date based on the plans that are available and how much time and interest you save in the process. Does that make sense? For us, it's been hundreds of thousands of dollars that we would have paid in interest, but MWR has knocked out for us, and they even automate the process of snowballing the debt. Does that make sense? Then from there, you go lower the bills. If you got bills that you can't pay off, like debts you can pay off. If you got bills that you can't pay off, the lower my bills. You got a team of negotiators that go in, negotiate cell phones, internet, cable, pest control, down to its lowest point. And then when it comes to restoration of credit, because credit tells you how much money is available to you, how much money costs you. We even got a process where you can get rewarded when you buy groceries and order Ubers and go to Home Depot. Does that make sense? Now that's the first stop, is just the shift. Everybody clear on shift? What happens when you shift? Well, three things go down. Your taxes go down, your debts go down, and your expenses go down. When that happens for you, does your stress go down? Now, at the same time, if your income is going up, that increases your cash flow. We're going to talk a lot about that in a second, but also your credit score and just the overall attitude of abundance. Like when you feel like you have more, aren't you able to do more and give more?
Yeah.
Yeah. So here's what we do. When it comes to income shifting, it's three strategic parts to the solution. First thing we're going to do is increase your cash flow. Second thing we're going to do is help you develop a business income. Put that in your notes. A business income. Even if you've got a job, even if you've got another business, we're going to show you how to build a stream of passive leverage residual income through a business, and then to create investment income where the money is making money. Does that sound good?
Yep.
Now, how does that work? First thing we do, we talk about cash flow management and expanding cash flow. This was a game changer in conversation for me when I first understood it, Chuck, because I realized up until it had been mentioned to me, I thought that cash flow and income were the same thing. Let me confess my sins, but ask, is anybody out there in that same situation where you thought cash flow and income were the same? It turns out they are related, but they're not the same, meaning income is measured in dollars and cash flow is measured in time. By the way, so is wealth. As a matter of fact, wealth, just the definition of it, simple, is infinite cash flow. You got enough cash flowing through your life to never need to work for cash again. But think about this. If you got a $2 million income, you got a $1 million income, is that good money?
Yeah.
But if you got a $2 million lifestyle, you still broke on the 15th. Yes?
Yeah.
But if you only got an $80,000 income, modest income, but you got a $40,000 lifestyle, your cash flows twice the period of need so that your money is available to do work for you. In order to expand cash flow, what do? Already the things that we talked about. The first thing we're going to do is minimize taxes. I'm not talking about tax evasion, but avoiding tax is how you avoid the stupid tax. We're going to minimize expenses through bills, minimize debt, increase the credit score so that we understand the cash flow pattern in our lives. Now, for those of you that I'm meeting for the first time, have you ever read Robert Kiyosaki's books, Rich Dad, Poor Dad? Let me come out and look at you in your eyes and see. Rich Dad, Poor Dad, first time seeing it. Okay, so let me break down a financial statement so that you can start to envision yourself as a business and see yourself as the bank the way that the bank see you. Is that okay? Now, when it comes to a financial, that's why I call it the ABCs, by the way. This basic stuff. But I bet y'all won't taught it at school. I know I wasn't. I looked all around Frederick Douglass High School and Duke University. Where they teach financial statement? Somewhere. Put this in your notes. Somewhere else. They taught us the actual responsibility is for it to be taught at homes. But if it wasn't wealth in your family, who was going to teach it? So the top part of this financial statement is what we call an income statement. And those top two pieces are income and expenses. Now, income is just money coming in. Yes. And expenses is money going out on a regular basis. It's just looking at your check and looking at your checking and seeing how that goes. Now, most common, biggest expenses for most people, the two biggest expenses, Chuck, believe it or not, are taxes and interest. That's taxes and debt, food, transportation, housing, all of those things are in the expense column. Now, the balance sheet is where the wealthy play the game to create wealth. And the two words that have to pop out to your mind are assets and liabilities. Our goal is to increase your assets. Assets, simple definition from Rick, courtesy of Robert Kiyosaki, is something that puts money in your pocket. Does that make sense? And liabilities are things that take money out of your pocket. So what are some common assets that people might have?
Rental property.
Rental property. Stocks.
Precious metal.
Precious metal. Real estate.
Land.
But now here's what I got on the liability side. Your house. The house that you live in, unless you have a home-based business in it, it's a liability because the flow of cash from your house to your mortgage company is what way?
One way.
It's out the door, right? Your car, student loans, credit cards, those are liabilities, but stocks, bonds, mutual funds, real estate, private lending, collectibles, precious metals, businesses, these are assets. These are things that grow in value and put money in your pocket. What MWR simply does, it shows us how to lower the expenses, get rid of the liabilities, and invest in real income producing assets. Does that make sense? And because of the flow of cash, the world lines up into 3 cash flow patterns. I'm going to point these out and let you pick which one you're in and which you want to go into. On the left, you have the cash flow statement of a poor person, meaning their only source of income is that job. And money comes in from the job as income and goes out the door as expenses. It's rent, it's food, it's childcare, it's healthcare, but leaving little or nothing left. Does that make sense? In the middle, as the name implies, that's the cash flow pattern of the middle class. They have, in general, a higher income than the poor, but they use their high income to buy liabilities and buy things over time with their time. So the income comes in, and because of the mortgage, the car note, the student loans, and the credit cards, most of the money goes out the expense column. And that last column is the cash flow pattern of the rich, the wealthy, I should say. Wealthy cash flow means that the income comes from the assets. Now, what does it mean that income can come from an asset? It means that the income can come when they're not going out to work. Now, is it just MWR that does this? No, there's a ton of places where people have inherited wealth. How many of you have heard of someone that inherited wealth? How many of you heard of somebody that made a good investment or something that paid them residually so that it was always making money for the same song they sung back in 1992? The goal is to have income independent of you. Now, let me pause for a second. Put in the chat. I want to know who I'm talking to. Which cash flow pattern do you want to have? I just want to make sure I'm training the right people, talking about the right thing. Yes, rich, wealthy pattern. Yes. Okay. Just making sure. We here to make wealth real together. We just got to agree on how we're getting there together. Because here's the next thing that you got to think about when it comes to our wealth and our cash flow patterns. is the sources of income, meaning Robert Kiyosaki's third book, Cash Flow Quadrant. He talked about employees, self-employed, business owner, or investor. Those are 4 flow patterns for money in America. If you're an employee, you have a job, money comes from the job. If you're self-employed, you're a specialist, a doctor, a lawyer, a plumber, electrician, own a job. If you're a business owner, you have a system that works for you. And if you're an investor, you have money at work for you. The cash flow quadrant is everything to the right, the business owner and investor. The goal of MWR is simply to shift us into the cash flow quadrant, even if we started off as employees or self-employed. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Now, how do we do it and why do we do it? First thing is just understanding this is America, the United States of America. And I try not to watch the news because sometimes it makes blood pressure go up. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
But here's what I do understand about the United States of America and the IRS is the tax system is designed that the rich get richer, right? They say over here, there's nothing as certain as death or taxes, but here's what's true. If you got a job, if you're a hardworking American and you get paid with a W-2, you got a W-2 here in the last 2 weeks to file your taxes for a tax return, the formula is what creates the poverty, meaning with a W-2, we get taxed 28 to 33%, yes?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And the formula is what's sinister, because with a W-2 job only income, the formula is I work, I'm taxed, the government gets paid before I do, and then I get to spend what's left, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
With a business, a home business, including MWR, you get to take advantage of business breaks on taxes. A 1099 income, you get taxed lower percentage already. 18 to 23% is less than 28 to 33%, right?
Yes.
Yep.
But the thing that makes it powerful is this, y'all. The business gets to earn money first. The business gets to spend money second. And the business gets taxed on what's left. That's why for years, like the biggest company, like Jeff Bezos is the richest man in the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
But do you know that for over 15 years, Amazon reported a loss?
Mm.
On paper. But they were building their assets to get into this last category. It's capital gains or money making money, meaning, y'all know wealthy people designed our tax system, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know who they designed it
Yes.
for?
The wealthy.
They designed it for the wealthy. Imagine this, capital gains investments. Capital gains investments, they get taxed less than 15%. That's half, yes?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The money goes to work. The money gets reinvested and makes more money. And get this, Chuck, it doesn't get taxed every year or until the asset is sacrificed. When did a wealthy sacrifice an asset?
Never.
Never. They protect it with a trust. It's diabolical.
Mm.
But guess who gives us a business and the ability to create a trust in our legacy strategy? It's the first
Right
MWR.
here. Right
thing
here.
I ever saw
Look at it.
focused on getting us our money back, paying us to tell people they got us our money back, and then helping us invest to create leverage. Now, I am at 7:58. I got about 2 more minutes on, well, this will be about a 5-minute topic, but it's probably the most important thing. Because up until now, we've only talked about shifting income. Am I correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
This is your money coming back to you. Multiplying money is the magic of how the wealthy get wealthy. See, some of the things that we got to unlearn. How many of you were always taught if you want to make more money, you got to work harder?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Have
Yep.
have you ever looked around and noticed that some of the hardest working people in the world make the least money?
Mm.
I mean, truth be known, remember, well, let me look at all the people on the screen. There was a time when we were not paid for our labor. We would just work, and that work was capital, and it was what mortgages were tied to. But here's the banker secret that as I really understand this whole notion of the cash heist, why it's critical that we learn self-banking strategies so that we can become our bank. It's called the banker secret. Now, has anybody heard of the banker's secret before?
Yes.
This will have to be interactive. So I need 3 volunteers to help me through the example. Is that okay? Let's see. Let me get my top rows. We got Sarah, Valencia. Anybody else?
I got you.
All right, Sarah, Valencia, and Javon. All right, which one of y'all want to go first? Y'all know. Okay, let me tell you. I'm gonna give you a gift. I'm gonna give you a gift, and I'm gonna give you the gift of understanding the banker's secret. Now, when it comes to the banker's secret, let me pull up my screen so that you can see what I see. But also, I want you to work your math with me, right? Meaning the banker's secret is called the rule of 72. You can look this up when we get off the Zoom.
Okay, sir.
The rule of 72, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what they say is if you take 72 and divide it by the interest rate, it tells you how long it will take your money to double in the investment you have it in. Does that make sense? 72 divided by the interest rate equals how long it takes your money to double. Now, does anybody have their phone handy, not using it for the Zoom?
I do.
Do you know what the current interest rate is for all of the top 200 banks in America?
For checking accounts?
Savings accounts. I'm gonna go with savings accounts. Checking accounts is 0. So I
Savings,
already know you'll get a
interest
mathematical
rate for
error
savings
if
account.
you try to divide 72 by 0.
I just,
0.12.
Average interest rate for
2%.
savings account.
I just 0.
It's 0.01%.
Yeah, 0.01.
0.01%.
So
Mm-hmm.
somebody do me a favor and divide 72 by 0.01.
That's 70. I got 7,200.
Yeah.
7,200 years.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's crazy.
If we put our money in the bank and count on the bank to grow our money for us, they will grow a bigger bank for themselves, but it'll take 7,200 years for even the money we put in there to double it.
Oh my God.
Crazy.
Oof.
That's why self-banking becomes important to us through the things that we do with MWR. Now with MWR, a part of our, hold on, let me share the screen so that you can see it. With MWR, a part of what you get in our legacy strategies. So we got lifestyle strategies that shift money back to you, but the legacy strategies, once you get your money back in pocket, they give you ways to grow your money. Diversified cash flow account and private reserve accounts are 2 options for self-banking that I've been blessed to take advantage of. My private reserve account, in transparency, I've not earned less than 8% in the 5 years that I've had mine. Does that make sense? We'll talk about how the features of it work later, but I want people to understand the concept of the rule of 72. So I'm gonna do 3 examples. Now, we said Sarah, Valencia, and Javon, yes? Okay, so Sarah, I don't know if I'm giving you a gift. I'm gonna give all 3 of you the same gift. First is a new age. You're now 29. Is that older than you are, Sarah?
No, I'm 39 something. I got 10 years
Okay.
younger.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll take that.
All of you are 29 years old. Now, the second gift I'm gonna give you is $10,000. Only rule is you gotta let it double till you're 60. You gotta let it ride in the bank till you're 65. Is that okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you didn't have to work for it. It's just money making money doing its thing. Yes.
Mhm.
And the last thing I'll give you is an interest rate that's much better than the market. All right. So Sarah, in your case, oops, did I unshare that? I'm sorry.
Yep.
They say you got to learn how to share with your friends in kindergarten, right? So Sarah, in your case, let's go with a 4% interest rate. So somebody do the math for me. 72 divided by 4 is what? Okay, I'll cheat for you. It's 18. So if you got a 4% interest rate, your money is doubling every 18 years. So if you start off with $10,000 at age 29, by the time you get to 47, you hadn't done any additional work, but you got another $10,000 because your money made the money. Does that make sense?
Yep.
And then by the time you cash out at 65, you got $40,000 from an initial $10,000. You got 4 times the money that you had at age 29 in addition to whatever money you made. Is that good?
Sorry for not doing nothing.
And it's get this, it's 4,000 times better than the bank.
Mhm.
Make sense?
Mhm.
Now, let's just increase it a small number, 6%, instead of a 4% interest rate of 6%. This is what happens for most of us. Most people start thinking that 4% and 6% aren't that different, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this is the power of compounding and leverage over time, because 72 divided by 6 is what?
Well,
Money doubles every 12 years. So if you're 29, start with $10,000. By the time you're 41, you're at $20,000. By the time you get to 53, that's 40,000. You've already caught up with the 4% interest rate 12 years earlier. And by 65, you got $80,000. That's 8 times the money that you had, only 6% better interest rate, but it's compounding over time. But now here's where life gets good. Oh, I guess we say the best for Javon, you got the 12% interest rate, huh?
Mm-mm.
I said that.
72 divided by 12 gives you money doubling every 6. That makes sense.
Yep.
So if you're 29, $10,000 turns to 20,000 by the time you're 35, to 40,000 by the time you're 41. Double it again. What's 2 times 40?
80.
$80,000 at 47. Double that, you got 160,000. You don't even fit on the line no more. At 53, 320,000 at 59, $640,000 at age 60. So now,
17,000.
so now here's what's real. Right now, all of us that walk into a bank, when we open a checking or savings, when we open a checking account, how much interest are they guaranteeing to pay?
None.
None. Most cases, they're going to charge you a little bit for having your money available for them to loan to people. And if we open a savings account, how much are we getting?
The first year you might get 3%.
Imagine
Depends
this.
on what promotion.
Right. But imagine this. The bank does earn more than 12% on our money every day of the week. Yes. How many of you know somebody that has a credit card or auto loan or student loan from a bank?
Mm-hmm.
The bank makes $640,000 on a regular basis every time it gets $10,000. But us leaving the bank, the money in the bank could be a $600,000 decision, because the bank gets to flip the money 10 times and earn $600,000 more by being the bank instead of trusting the bank. Have I helped you there? So what's the message from this?
Be the bank.
It's not a secret anymore. Be the bank. I mean, here's what I know. I didn't know how to be the bank before I got here, but our self-banking strategies, it's not just that you get better returns and no risk of loss. It's a whole different experience when you're the banker asking yourself for a loan. Rick, I need $10,000 out of the bank of Rick. Okay, how you want to pay it back? Let me figure that out later. All right, I have fun, but I'm serious about what we do. So that's part is just self-banking strategies, but also debt elimination. Won't do the full lesson today, but just understand our debt elimination system is an example of a debt snowball. How many of you have heard of Dave Ramsey, the debt snowball, the debt avalanche? It combines those two philosophies and automates them for us so that we get a statement every month so that we stay on track in getting out of debt. All right. And then the last thing, let me pause. Chuck, I get excited and forget what things I've said. So we talked so far about shifting. Yes.
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 We talked about multiplying. Yes.
Yes.
Last point, I'm going to talk about leverage in everything. And it will make sense to you why Make Wealth Real is the first most viable vehicle I've seen to help people in the process of promoting making wealth real. Because the last one is the idea of creating a business system, because here's what's also true in the cash flow quadrant. When it comes to passive leveraged residual income, right? There's 4 ways to produce income. Linear income is our job, meaning how much time we can stay awake and work is the governing factor on how much money we have. Yes?
Yes.
There's no leverage here. And that's why less than 0.5% of the wealth lives in this quadrant. Now, at the same time, as a self-employed person, I venture to say that the business that I run is actually harder to do than my job. You know why?
I know.
Tell us why, Sarah. Tell us.
Shoot, you got to do all the responsibility. You have to do your little payroll. You have to do your own expenses. You got to be the accountant. You got to be the social media guru. You got all of that.
You got to do all the business and deliver the product and the system. But when it comes to the cash flow quadrants, where MWR moves us to, is thinking about being a business owner, owning a system with leverage, because there's only two forms of leverage in the world. It's people at work and money at work. Because if anybody that's ever hired employees knows that, you know, once you get more than 5 employees, like running an adult daycare, yes?
Yes, it is.
But when you're a business owner and have a system like a McDonald's or a hotel chain, now you've got a system of people at work, and that increases your leverage where money's coming in for work that you did not do. Yes? And then the ultimate quadrant, ultimate destination is, as an investor, you own investments. And the money makes more money, gets taxed less, doesn't get tired, doesn't complain, doesn't argue with you. As we progress through the process of making wealth real, we want to shift our thinking and our income from the E and S quadrant into the B and I, and create a generation that learns this is how you make money. Because the other thing that we were taught in school was what? Go to school and get a job. We were taught linear income and taught that time is money. Time is not money. Time is much more important than money, but if we get leverage, we get to buy our time back to find out what we were really here to do on earth. And just in recap, MWR, ultimate success system, ultimate cash flow system, because it gives you the ability to increase the cash flow from your current streams of income. No matter what you're doing, if your taxes go down, you got more cash flow from your current income. Yes. You get out of debt, and then you create more cash flow just by sharing what we do. And then we multiply the cash flow through strategy, self-banking, land banking, precious metals. I only talked about 2 today. But the problem for most people when it comes to having investments to multiply is they need this. And then to protect it all in one thing, screenshot this. I won't even explain it today, but it's everything that most people are asking for in a business: to own a business that pays for itself, be their own boss, get control of their time, get control of their money, work from anywhere, reduce taxes, stay ahead of inflation, accelerate debt elimination, which accelerates retirement, which buys people their time back, accelerate investments, get paid daily, upfront bonuses, and leverage residual income, all in one membership. The investment for both positions, $149.97 is the membership. Normally it's an additional $100 to get access to the new cash that comes in our success system. For the next couple of days, with the person that invited you to this webinar, they have a VIP access code that'll get you $100 off the start of your money machine. Everybody put that in your notes, your money machine, where we make wealth real by shifting the income back to you, increasing your income by word of mouth, multiply it by better investment strategies, put you in a position to protect it, and then have leverage with everything we do. I'm going to pause for a second and fly through how we increase income if anybody wants to know how we make more money. I'm just asking. I can go now because it'll be bedtime for my grandkids in a minute. Or I can talk about how we make more money. Anybody want me to show them?
I want to know.
Who wants me to show you the money?
Show me the money.
Show you the money. Show you the money. So let me jump into our quick start system. Now, again, this is meant to be a fast start into the business. But what I find is most people don't start fast because they didn't understand what I just shared. They're still stuck on what them people told them in the school from the education that was designed for 2 generations ago. Y'all remember when age used to be an asset? when seniority used to mean something.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, y'all remember once upon a time that the jobs that we went to said they would pay us for the rest of our lives if we worked our lives for them?
Yeah, pensions.
Yeah, that's over. That's that's a whole education system for a different age. But with MWR, we have a 6-step success system. So if you're taking notes right now, steps 1 through 6, 1 through 6, 1 through 6. Chuck, I plan to pull up at step 4, if that's okay.
Yeah, because
Step 4 puts.
I get them started.
Yep. Get you started and let you know what to expect next after our conversation today. Because when it comes to this business, well, you know what? That's not just this business. That's life. Success loves speed. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Successful people make fast decisions and move on them, even if they're wrong. Unsuccessful people are slow to make a decision and then change their mind and move slow all the time. Yes. So when it comes to creating success with MWR, it's 6 steps. They're all simple. Everyone on here can do them. And steps 1 through 6 in order. Step 1, unlocking the money. Unlocking the money. Step 2, identifying your prospects. Step 2, identifying your prospects. Step 3, sorting and sharing with speed. Step 4, collecting a decision. And step 5, fast start interview. Chuck, I think I'll stop at step 5, fast start interview today. And then step 6 is just a rinse and repeat. It's putting all 6 steps together in order and doing it again with more people. Now, when I say unlocking the money, part of what people are usually concerned about is the investment to get started in MWR Financial, saying, I'm not sure if I can afford $149 a month or if I have $250 now. The goal of unlocking the money is to let you know this is a business, and our goal, we get in this business to recoup your startup costs and cover your membership fee so that you have a self-funding business and multiple streams of income off that initial investment. How does it start, Rick? Well, you do something similar to what the person that did to get you here did. You invite them to hear some information shared from someone else, and they make their own decision. Put that in your notes. They make their own decisions. You can't decide for them if they're going to do it. But say for the sake of this conversation, you found these 3 people that said, I want all the money, and there's one person that said, I want some of the money. Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
So you fast start, our goal your first week is to help you enroll 3 QMDs and 1 outside customer. Why, Rick? Well, it's the money. I said we want to increase your income, didn't we?
Yes.
Well, here's what happens. Every time somebody sees what we do and decides they want to get started through your website, you earn a bonus of $50 per person. That's $150 that they pay you when the 3 people get started. Does that make sense? They also pay a $50 bonus when people decide they don't want to have the new income stream from a business and just want to be customers. And because we attack this with a sense of urgency, success loves speed, you get a 30-day momentum bonus of $150. And you've now gotten your first promotion. That's right. When we introduce, you want to get you paid and promoted the first week. That's $5 daily guaranteed residual income or $150 a month. Somebody remind me, how much was the cost of the membership?
$149.
$149. So the membership's paid for, and that $350 in upfront bonuses, you've made $100 beyond your initial investment, and you're just getting started. Does that make sense? Now, here's what happens. The 3 people, we have a duplication system. Our goal is to help the 3 people get started in business with you, with them the next week. So that's another 9 people. 9 plus 3 is 12. And when we get your team to a team of 12 in as little as your second week, now things get really interesting because you get promoted again, and that earns you another momentum bonus. You get 60-day momentum bonus of $450. So where are we at in upfront bonuses right now? $600. And you earn $20 a day in daily guaranteed residual income. That's another $600 on your $149 overhead. Does that make sense? Now you're profitable. Now the business is paying for itself and paying for something else. And you know the most powerful part? You didn't even do all the work. You've got leverage in week 2. Does that make sense? And now every time you and your team of 12, just half of them go and sponsor somebody, you earn an additional $300 in performance bonuses that week. Does that make sense? So boom, week 3, What are we after? We turning and burning, growing that team of 12 to 36. Again, just duplicating the process, teaching people a system so that in your third week, with as few as 36 members on your team, we get to the bragging rights position. 3-star executive director, like a Javon Rowland or Angela Johnson, right? Where now there's a comma in your income because not only do you earn a 90-day momentum bonus, that's another $900. Get $600 in team growth bonuses as the team is acquired. Now you're making $50 a day. That's $1,500 a month. I don't have to ask if it will retire you, but would it help?
Mhm.
Would $1,500 guaranteed to hit your mailbox help you with something?
Mhm.
Mhm.
And that's what we're after. Like if you think about just getting to these 3 landmarks, week 1, $350 upfront bonuses, $5 a day. Week 2, another $450, and then $1,500. Do you know that that's $2,300 in upfront? We're almost 10 times what you invested, and you have a $1,500 per month residual income in your first 30 days. Oh, and don't forget, that's only the new money. For most members that are aggressive about implementing the lifestyle services, it's another $2,000 between the reduction in taxes, lower bills, debt elimination, and credit score enhancement. So now you got 2,000 of your dollars back, additional 1,500 a month coming, plus a couple of commas in bonuses. Do you think you have now what you need to begin investing and become your own bank? See, this is a process. We're setting people up for success, but also for escape, so that eventually, as we decide and double the numbers, we put you in a position to exceed what's coming out of your life in bills, and then you're free. Now, step 2, everybody say step 2,
Step
Step
2.
2.
prospect list. I'll keep this short and just say, in this business, the lifeblood of your business is prospects. And you want to develop your list strategically, and put this in your notes. You want to add to it every day. If there's one skill that I could transfer from my dad to everyone in our family, it's just the ability to meet new people and understand ways that he could learn something from them or help them. Make sense? How's that work? In your back office, there's a document that actually organizes the process for you to identify your first round draft picks. These are the top 30 people in your life. I say put your 10 closest, your 10 best, and the 10 next best, most powerful people you can think of. Why? Because you, in your cell phone, you got 3,000 plus contacts. The ones I want you to focus on are the ones that are the most money motivated, the ones that have a positive attitude, but are unhappy with their current lifestyle. And then make sure that you find the ones that will be good at this, but they'd be mad at you if you ain't tell them about it. Just keep it simple.
Mhm.
Does that keep it simple?
Let's keep
And
this
with those things, you want to put that list on paper and make sure to share it with the person that you're working with so that you aren't trying to build this business alone. This business is like anything else. It's a business, but it's new. And when you're new, you need help. Everybody say, I need help.
I need
Need
help.
help.
Hell, I still need help. I know what I'm doing. But that's the design of the business. You're in business for yourself, not by yourself. And as you go through the process, there's a 5-star approach. This is the main thing I'll say. You're going to sort through quickly. Just make sure you let them know you found a way for us to make wealth real together, for us to get money together, for us to have a lifestyle. You know anybody be interested in enhancing their lifestyle and building their legacy at the same time? Subtle. I don't want to script you. I just want you to ask questions. Don't try to tell them everything that Mr. Harden said in that presentation. He is a 100% professional. I think he wakes up in the middle of the night doing presentations.
I do. I do.
So,
I do.
rather than put that pressure on you and them, you want to sort and share quickly through the tools. Meaning, when you're brand new in this business, get familiar with the tools. MWR gives us an amazing website that allows people to go have a video, understand the details of how any of the service they're interested in work. We do in-home presentations for people that we would normally invite into our homes, but we're also starting to build out local venues. We get a group of people together in a conference room or a hotel, webinar allows us to have people from multiple states. Matter of fact, do me a favor, put in the chat the state that you're in so we start knowing where we can send other people that we know places from. Like as soon as I see Nashville, I start thinking, I know some people in Nashville. Let's see, who we got? And then last but not least, work together with the person that introduced you. They'll set up, I'll skip this for now. They'll set up the process for you to collect the decision. Everybody say collect the decision.
Collect the decision.
What's the decision? You want all the money or some of the money? If they want all of the money, the expert will work with you just to walk them through getting signed up right now. Even if they don't know for sure that they want all the money, it's accessible to them. Let's see if we can create some success and new income and leverage there, right? And then the last part, and this is where you'll start with get together with the person that invited you and let them know that the secret to getting started in this business is understanding why we're in business together. Meaning the secret to building a successful MWR business. Put this in your notes. Don't do it alone. It's a team sport, right? You get together and there's a document that walks us through in the Fast Start interview how to accelerate the time it takes to get to their dreams. Because this is what you want to do. Whenever I'm working with someone, I want to know really the answer to a couple of questions. Number one, what would it take to replace your current income completely? Like if you gave me a number and it paid every bill in your house, what would that number be? And then I start thinking about how can we double that money with passive leverage residual income in the compensation plan? The next thing I ask them is, given everything that you got on your plate, how many hours per day could you dedicate to learning this business and doing the things that you learn? Right? So say they gave me $10,000 a month, X. So to get the $10,000 a month in the 1 to 2 hours a day that you have to invest in you and the business, part of this time is going to be learning and unlearning time. Does everybody agree? Like it's some stuff that we got to unlearn deep in our soul, because still somebody the other day, somebody said out loud to me, Chuck, money is the root of all evil.
No.
They ain't even what the book say.
Nope, it's the love, man.
It's the love of money. In real talk, I see the root of all evil as the lack of money. Because, well, never mind. I'll talk about another training because I'm at my time. The main thing is making a decision that we're going to continue the learning and earning process, because your learning curve and earning curve go hand in hand. The more you know, the better you get. Chuck says it all the time, but it's still true today. The better you get, the better the money gets. Let's all get better together and make wealth real. 8:27, right there on the dot.
Right.
So I'm gonna pause right here. Ask if there's questions and announcements.
I'm going to hit stop on this recording right here because that was amazing.